Hi, I'm Mr. Simons, and in this video, I want to give you an overview of the transmission mechanism. Now, this isn't going to be a comprehensive video about it. It's just kind of like a starting point to be able to start to understand what it is that we mean when economists talk about the transmission mechanism. So the first thing to think about is that the transmission mechanism applies to monetary policy. So we're speaking about the actions of the Reserve Bank of Australia in terms of changing the cash rate in order to affect inflation and the level of economic activity in the economy. So what we're looking at when we talk about the transmission mechanism is how changes in the cash rate flow through to the level of economic activity and inflation. So the reason we need to think about this is that the Reserve Bank of Australia can't directly change the level of economic growth or inflation. It doesn't have the level of control or its hands on the right levers to be able to do that. What the RBA does is it changes the cash rate, things happen in the middle, and then we get changes in the level of economic activity and inflation. So the RBA is indirectly affecting the economy because it's only changing one variable. So if we think about this idea of the transmission mechanism, it might be helpful in thinking about it as a bit of a diagram. So what happens on one side is that the RBA decides to change the level of the cash rate. So that's up or down. And then you've got this box in the middle that is the transmission mechanism, that there is a process, that there are complex elements that change. And then through that process, we get changes in the level of inflation, changes in the level of economic activity. So if we're thinking about the transmission mechanism, it is the process by which changes in the cash rate are translated into the level of economic activity and inflation. Something to know is that the transmission mechanism processes can be complex and uncertain, that it's not like there are guaranteed outcomes and timelines in terms of it. That's why economists talk about a 6 to 18 month time lag from the time the cash rate is changed to the time the economy is affected. This is because of the complexity and uncertainty involved with the transmission mechanism itself. So the transmission mechanism itself consists of a number of different channels, and we'll look at those in a separate video. But for now, I just want you to be very clear on the fact that the transmission mechanism is the way in which changes in the cash rate then flow through to affect the economy, to affect economic growth, and the level of inflation. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns, clarifications, put them in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching.